people, welcome back to my channel. Hey my beautiful people, welcome back to another shitty video of mine. This is Pulse Arts, and if you're new, hi, welcome, thank you for clicking on my video. Please do stay along to see how I made this cute little violin. I don't know if it's cute, but still made it. And alright, I'm not good at intros, as you guys know, so we're just going to jump straight into the video. But the video is about making a miniature violin, so please do support and please do hang on to this video, and I hope you enjoy. Sneak peek of what I'm currently working on. We'll probably put a video up soon. So yeah, this is the room where all the junk is stored. As you can see, there's a lot of wood pieces, and you see this one here, this is kind of like a thin wood shaving, so this will work perfectly for the edges. So I basically went around and grabbed whatever I felt like would work on my miniature violin making process. So these are all the wood pieces that were available. First things first, get yourself a reference picture and start sketching the shape of the violin and place it over the wood chunk you have. It can be wood or you can use a very thick cardboard, because I'm not going to carve everything in wood. I just want the base to be strong, so you can also use cardboard or any other sheet which you think is thick enough. The next thing you want to do is place the cutout over the wood piece and start carving. You can see I'm using an X-Acto knife, which was a dumb idea to go with. So I tried and it wasn't working as well, so I switched to the saw and it kind of worked well. So all I have to say here is, if you're choosing wood, then please be ready to break your nails and please be ready to put in some work, because it's not as easy as it looks. Well, it doesn't look easy as well, so yeah, I prefer to choose cardboard over wood, because as you can see, I'm just showing you how a cardboard would work. So I guess if you are struggling with the wood, just go ahead and pick the cover of notebooks, or you can go with very thick cardboard, maybe a box of something, and carve the shape out. The next step is to work on the edges of the violin. Now I'm taking the thinnest wood shaving and I'm bending it around the edges and securing it with elastics. After that, what you want to do is take some chunks of newspaper, soak it into water and rip it off into smaller pieces, just like this. Make sure you leave the newspaper to soak for a long time, because that's what will help you to smoothen out the edges, and that's one of the mistakes I did, so please learn from that. Make sure you soak the newspaper for a long time, alright? Now you gotta drain all the water from the newspaper, and it should look something like this. It should be a little tougher to handle now. Go ahead and break those pieces from bonding with each other. You don't want chunks, so make sure you break them thoroughly. You can also use a mixer to get a very smooth play of paper, so just rip it apart just like that. Now what you want to do is pour a lot of glue over this piece of poop to make it look a lot more like a piece of poop. So yeah, go ahead and play with the glue and mix it with your hands like that, so be prepared for some messy hands. While you're mixing, make sure you add some water if it is too dry, and glue. So you gotta switch between water and glue to get a mixture that looks like this. Now take your violin piece and start patting the mixture onto the surface of the violin to make it look a little bulged on both sides. So the violin is actually convex on both sides, so you gotta make it more bulged in the center and thin it out while you go to the edges. So make sure you do that with your hands. I know the violin's surface is not as smooth, so make sure you make your paste smoother than what I have made here. I thought of using sandpaper later, but it doesn't work that way, so make sure you use a mixer to get the newspaper chunks a bit more smoother, so that when you mold it like that, you'll get a really smooth surface. So what I did after that is take a brush and dip it into some glue and water and run it over the surface of the violin to make it look a lot smoother. Now all you have to do is wait for it to dry and repeat it on the other side and also on the edges. Now what I've done is I've soaked the top part in a lot of glue so that I can give an outline to the violin. So this is what it looks like after it has dried. I'm so sorry for not recording how I did the outline because I worked at midnight and I didn't have a very bright light to shoot this. So what I did is basically I waited for the Fevicol to dry, not dry completely but dry partially, and then I used my nails to, you know, indent the markings onto the violin. Now that the body of the violin is done, let's move on to the top part. So sketch it out and put it into a really thick cardboard or wood, it's your choice. I'm using a very thick cardboard here, and as you can see I've stuck the outline onto the cardboard. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use an X-Acto knife to carve it out. And while you're sticking your top part of the violin on the body of the violin, make sure you look at the reference picture a lot of time to see where it should exactly go. And then I'm using Fevikwik, which is a very strong adhesive. After this I worked on the bottom part of the violin, which was to connect the top part and the body of the violin together. I don't know what that part is called, so I'm just gonna show you what I'm working on right now. So here I'm using a thinner cardboard so that I could bend it and give it a nice little curve. So we're making this a hollow one at the moment, but we will be filling it with the paper paste later. Now we are moving to the end of the top part of the violin. Oh my god, I'm so bad at naming parts of violin, but yeah. So while you're sketching this part of the violin, make sure the thickness of the sides of the violin and the thickness of the template you've drawn is the same. And if that's done, you can go ahead and cut it out with the X-Acto knife. Now you gotta make two of these which are of the same size, and they have to look exactly the same because they are going to go on either sides. So now I'm using Fevikwik again to fix the oh, what's it called? Okay, the S part maybe on either sides of the violin. And then I'm using a bendable cardboard, I mean a soft cardboard, to go over the S shape. And I purposely am making it hollow because the top part of the violin is actually hollow, and I am securing it with some glue. Also, don't forget to add a few drops of blood to your violin. So then I cut out the bottom part, which is not very hard, you know, it's kind of easy to do. So just take your cardboard and cut out the template. And then I moved on to the middle piece, which is a thing where the strings go over. So do look at reference pictures. I don't know what this shape is called, a trapezium maybe. So go ahead and cut out and use your Fevikwik or whatever strong adhesives you have and stick it in the middle of the violin. Next I went with the bottom part of the violin, which had like a ball. I don't know, it was connected to the bottom piece, so just have some reference picture, guys. I'm still bad at explaining this. I'm just showing you what I did. So now I just went in and filled in the gap that you see right now. I don't want to name parts anymore. So take your paper mixture you've made earlier and then start filling. That all the carving and the molding work has been completed, we can move on to painting. And for painting I'm using acrylic paints. Now it's time to attach the strings. For strings I'm using a stitching thread, and unfortunately I did not have a white one, so I used this blue one and painted it white. A violin has 4 strings going over the piece at the center, so make sure you mark the points where you want your strings to go over and use your strongest adhesive. If you made it till here, thank you so much for watching. This is the end product of the violin, and if you want to see how to make the bow and the container or the box where you keep the violin, I'll make a part 2. Yeah, thanks mom. So if you liked it, please don't forget to smash that thumbs up button and also subscribe to my channel if you like to see more of this stuff. And also turn on post notifications if you want to know when I post a new video. Bye!